Hello, my fellow humans and aliens. How y'all doing? Welcome to my channel. I'm Callie. My pronouns are Z and Zer. Power to the people. Now let's get into this. So today's story time is gonna be about the time I got into that car crash and they had to cut my pants. But before I start that, let's just say, yeah, the bonnet's back. The bonnet is back. My hair ain't done. It needs some moisturizing and it needs to be retwisted. So the bonnet's back, guys. It's back. So yeah, this story time, like, oh my god. I'm gonna tell a story leading up to the story because shit like this only happened to me, like story of my life. So I remember it was in 2015 and I was working at Lush. I was working in the factory at Lush, and okay, so I had real like early morning shifts, so I had to leave my because I lived like an hour and a half away from the work site. So I remember I had to leave at least 6 in the morning to get to work on time. I like to show up 15 minutes before the actual time that I'm supposed to work, so that was my on time. So yeah, and usually, so it was three of us that used to work together. That was like we were friends from God knows how long, and all three of us decided to work there together. So we will just meet up. One of the person used to live like 3 minutes walk from my house. So I usually walk down to his house, meet up, and then we go to the subway, meet up with the other person, and we just go to work together. But this day, I don't know what happened, but I went to work by myself this day. Clearly I can't do things by myself. I'm just joking. I went to work by myself this day. So I got there, got the subway, got off the bus, walking to my work. And as I'm walking, I was paying attention because I didn't have a phone in my hand. I didn't have nothing. I was just walking in my own little world. I'm like, oh my God, it's early in the morning and I'm on the street. So there was a Tim Hortons. I had to pass this Tim Hortons to go up the street to get to work because it was just a factory area, so there was nothing around. So I'm about to cross by the Tim Hortons, and out of nowhere, a fucking car came and hit my ass. Yes, a car hit my ass and I fell on the hood like this. Like, yeah, so as I was saying, my hand was on the hood like this because that's how I felt to the car when it hit me. I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and then I simply got up off the car and stepped back. And the motherfucker drove off. And I just went to work. And I was like, I didn't even pay attention to the fact that I literally just got hit by a car. I just went to work and that person drove off. And someone that worked in the department that I worked was actually behind me. So I realized that the whole time we were doing her work, he kept looking at me. And I'm like, why does this man keep looking at me? About a half an hour, maybe 20 minutes into work, the pain started taking over. Like my back was hurting, like my legs got weak, and I guess he must have noticed because, as I said, he kept watching me the entire time at work. And he walked over to me and he goes, why did you move? Why would you move after getting hit by a car? I'm like, honestly, I was in such shock that I didn't even take in that I just got hit by a car and now I'm at work. Like, what the fuck? Who does that? And I kid you not, my friend and I always said, if we get hit by a car, stay put. Don't move until the ambulance or the police come. Stay put. My ass was like, yes, I'm prepared if this should ever happen. My ass was not prepared. That shit went up my head. And yo, the pain was so bad. Like, he's like, let me walk you to the lunchroom. So he walked me to the lunchroom and I'm into such pain. And then my work had to call an ambulance and stuff like that. And they took me to the hospital, did some x-ray and whatever. It was nothing serious. They couldn't even find the driver because what a coincidence, on this day, the camera wasn't working. For the Tim Hortons, camera was not working. So they couldn't do anything about it. I couldn't do anything about it. So I was like, okay, cool. So this was like the Friday. This happened on a Friday. And then the Saturday was a party that I had gotten invited to. And as I said, I was fine, nothing happened. So I was like, I could go to this party. So I go to the party now. So my sister and her two friends and I got dressed and we were going to the party. But then one of my other friend that had a car at the time, because we didn't have a car, he has a car. And he was like, where are you going? And I told him I was going to a party. And he's like, let me drop you. And I was like, oh, yeah, save bus fare. And it was far as hell. So, yes, definitely, I'm taking that ride. So he dropped us at the party. And I said to him, if you want to stay, you can stay. And he's like, no, I'm not going to stay. I got some shit to do. But, like, if you want me to pick you up later, I can definitely do that. And just give me a call. And I'm like, you sure? Because, like, the party's probably not going to be done till, like, 3 o'clock in the morning. He's like, call me whenever you're ready and I'll come pick you up. I'm like, but anyways, yeah, he did just that. We partied and then I called him and he came to pick me up. I think I called him around 2 o'clock in the morning because also my parents did not know that my sister was out because she wasn't at that age yet. So I was like, yeah, we gotta go home. Anyways, so he came to pick us up. I think he stayed for like 10, no more than 10-15 minutes. He did not stay because it was late. And I appreciate the fact that he came to pick us up anyways. So I left with him and then my best friend left and we got on the highway and less than 5 minutes of being on the highway, I don't know what the fuck happened. I just know when he said shit and then we got hit and instantly I was in the front and my sister and her two friends was in the back and instantly I closed my eyes because the car kept doing this on the highway and we were spinning out of control. My eyes were closed and I'm thinking, Jesus, please. And then when the car came to a stop, it hit, the back flipped and we dropped and I was like, the fuck just happened? So we got out the car. I don't even know how I even managed to get out the car. Like I was, as I said, my eyes were closed while everything was happening. I was just feeling the motion and everybody's screaming and I'm just like holding on like I'm on a roller coaster or some shit. And we finally hit and we got out the car. We realized that we were like on the highway. It was like that 4-lane highway and we were all the way over like to the exit lane and we end up all the way over to like the very last lane where it's like where you speed up. And thank gods and the goddesses that there was a guardrail there. Because if the guardrail wasn't there, we'd have went into the other lane, the incoming traffic, and probably thank God also it was not one of those bridge or whatever that you could fall over. So we hit the guardrail and everybody got the car and I was like, okay, everybody's fine. There was cake all over me because I had cake in my lap because it was someone's birthday party. And he's looking at his car and my sister and her friends are standing outside the car. And I'm just like, I don't know what clicked in my head. Maybe I watched too much movies or the fact that I wanted to be an actress at the time. But I kid you not, all that was in my head was the car was going to blow. Because I swear I saw a spark. And I was like, get away from the car. Everybody, get away from the car. It's going to blow. And he's just looking at the car like, my fucking car. And my sister and her friend is just looking because I know they're shit scared because they weren't even supposed to be at a party. And I was like, get away from the car. And he's like, my fucking car. And I grabbed him. I'm like, it's going to blow. And he's just looking at the car, my fucking car. I'm like, so I called my best friend up and I'm like, oh my God, we just got into an accident on the highway and the car is gonna blow. And he's just like, yeah, I'm drunk, so I can't come anywhere. I'm like, what the fuck you mean? I left the party already and I'm home. I'm like, fuck, hang up. I'm like, okay, what do we do? So I call my other friend. I'm like, we just got into an accident. The car is gonna blow. And she's like, did you call CAA? And I'm like, no, I don't know. Oh my God, the car. And I realized that my friend that was driving is on the phone and he's speaking to like a tow company, whatever. So the tow company come because eventually I got them away from the car and the ambulance came. But why is that when the ambulance came and the tow truck came is when I realized that I'm fucking hurt. And everybody else in the car was not hurt except from me. The only thing my sister and her friends got was like the grace from the seatbelt. My friend is completely fine, and my leg was fucked up. And once that adrenaline rear off, and I tried to walk, I couldn't move because my leg was fucked. And the ambulance is like, "Can you walk?" I'm like, "No, the fuck, I can't walk." So they picked me up and put me on the stretcher, and like they did what they needed to do, asked questions, brought me to the hospital, just just for them to tell me that they can't check out my leg unless they cut my pants off. And I was sad because those pants, one, I got them from Zara, and those were the most expensive pants I've ever bought, and they were multi-purpose. Like I could have wear them to a party, I could wear them to a job interview, I could just wear them to like a fancy dinner. Cause I usually don't buy these type of clothes, especially because I used to dress like a boy here and there. I switch it up here and there back then. And these are the only first pants that I know I could like use in multiple ways. And I look hella good on it in it because like that booty though did look real fine in those pants. I don't know what the hell those pants did. They were like magical pants. But they were good for every occasion. And I just bought them. And they were expensive. So I started crying. He's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "Because of my pants." "Are you sure you have to cut my pants?" He's like, "Yes, ma'am, we have to cut your pants." And I started crying more. And I'm like, "Please don't cut my pants." He's like, "Your leg is like messed up. And I don't know if a bone is sticking out. I don't know what's happening. So we have to cut the pants." And I was like, can I just have a moment? He's like, "For what?" "I just need to say goodbye to my pants for a minute." And I was crying. I'm looking at my pants and I'm like, "It's my first time wearing you. And now I can't wear you again. I'm sad." I feel like I'm going to cry right now thinking about those pants. I was so sad. I had a moment with my pants while they're looking at me like, "This bitch is crazy." And so they did the X-ray and stuff. I did fracture something, some type of bone. I don't remember what the fuck it's called in my shin. And even though that happened in 2015, even right now when you look, like I still have that nasty bruise. It's like a huge ass circle that's still discolored from the accident. And I was terrified to even drive on the highway. Even now and then I still have flashbacks when I have to drive on the highway. And when my friends came to pick me up the morning after, they they fuck with me so hard. Like when they came, I had to be on crutches, my leg was banded up, and they came to pick me up and they kept pretending like they were crashing, and that shit was scary. And they put me to sit in the front seat. I mean, I guess I had to, seeing that I had the crutches. I should have sat in the back, but there was people in the back, so I couldn't spread my leg out in the back. But they put me in the front and they kept, and I'm like, "Could you guys not take the highway?" And they took the highway. I was shitting my pants when they took the highway. It was so scary. And I'm like, "You guys are not even real friends because you're going to torture me like this." Let's just say, like, when I got my license, I still have to go get my G. And I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm so scared. I have driven on the highway a few times. My bestie kind of tricked me in driving on the highway. I didn't realize that was gonna happen. Kind of took the GPS from me and told me where to go, and then I realized, fuck, we have to go on the highway. But I'm not bad. I'm pretty good. It just, when I think about going on the highway, that flashback in my head, and it's fucked with me ever since. And that was since 2015, and we're in 2021 right now. So it's haven't been 6 years fully, but it's about to be 6 years, and it still fucks with my mental here and there. And even when I drive with new people and they go on the highway, just even a little jerk, I'm like, in the car. Like everybody now scares me when it comes to the highway, but I'm getting better. And yeah, so that's my story about when I got, and that was even the first accident. Like the fact that I got hit by a car the day before, and then I come and get into a next accident. Clearly, somebody is out to get me. And my husband at the time was super pissed off at me. He showed me no courtesy when I got out of the hospital. He was on me like water on rice. Like he was cussing me because he had told me not to go to the party the night before, especially because I got hit by the car the Friday, and he had told me not to go to the party this Saturday, and I did not listen. So he cussed me from sun up to sundown. And yeah, my job was rehiring because it was a seasonal position I took, and they were rehiring. So when they rehire, if you're seasonal, you get an interview with them first before they go outbound. So it's inbound. Let's just say because of the accident that I get hit by a car, and then Saturday I got in a car accident, which means I couldn't work for the rest of the week or more than a week. They consider me to be a liability. It's not my fault I got hit by a car or that I got into a car accident. So how is that liability? But yeah, that's what happened when I got into a car accident. And my pants, yo, my pants. I can still remember it like it was yesterday. Like that's my only wear I got out of that pants. I am not like, oh, I think it was like a $60 pants, and that's expensive, especially for back in 2015. That shit is expensive. I'm still mad about it. But now I have a reminder for the rest of my life about the accident because my leg is forever fucked. Like there's a permanent bruise. Like ugh, I wish I could show you guys, but I can't because I just can't. But yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening. I hope you tune in next week. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and don't forget to share and press that notification button, that bell. And I appreciate you guys, and make sure you love yourself and practice self-care, guys, and self-love. Thank you.